Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Argentina for the opening round of the FIM Motocross World Championship. The MXGP of Patagonia, Argentina. MX2 Race 2 is about to get underway, and as you can see, the riders are coming towards the end of their sighting lap. There's Prado, I think, just heading across the start straight, just checking out the first turn once again. Feels a little bit cooler than the 23 degrees that it says on screen, but a little bit more overcast than it was in places. But the sun trying to burst through the clouds here at this circuit just outside of Via Langostura, or Bisha Langostura as they say here locally. Quick look at the track there, just under 1,700 meters long. Generally flat in elevation, but it's on a bed of volcanic ash, and it's quite crusty underneath, loamy in other places, and quite some square edge bumps out there that the riders need to be mindful of. But here's what happened. MX2 race 1 earlier. Thomas Kjær-Olsen over on the far side spun up on the gate, and it was Tom Vial who grabbed the first Vauxhall shot of 2019. His teammate Jorge Prado was right there behind him, and he was followed by the 29 of Henry Jacobi, Mitch Evans, in around 4th place at that point, but he lost a couple of positions early on to Jargo Geerts and Adam Sterry. Ben Watson also gave chase in the early stages on what was a very fast racetrack. Captain Vlaanderen was also making good progress through the field, but with Vial up there in second, it wasn't long before the 29 of Jacobi forced his way down the inside on the F&H Racing Kawasaki. That was the German up into second place. Vial was into third. Then Vlaanderen made his way past Jargo Geerts to find himself into fourth for Team HRC. Vlaanderen then went after Vial, couldn't close the door there, but the danger man was number 19 on the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. Terrible start, of course, when he spun up on the mesh, but he was quickly making his way through the field. He went around the outside of 10, Vlaanderen, to move himself up into a good position in terms of putting himself in the top 5, and then he went after Vial. That moved him up into 3rd place. Vlaanderen quickly followed through as well on the following lap to get himself past the young Frenchman for Red Bull KTM. And then this time he went to the inside to make a move on Jacobi. Jacobi made him work a little bit harder though, and about a half a lap later, Olsen was through into second. But with half the race gone, Jorge Prado was already about 10 seconds clear. Mitch Evans went around the outside of Jargo Geerts, and then he fell whilst trying to fend off the challenge of his teammate, Ben Watson. Watson at that point was in 7th place. Evans started to build in confidence towards the end of the race, as did Watson, as Vial started to fade. But it was Jorge Prado who was sensational in race 1. He came home a winner over Thomas Kjær-Olsen. Henry Jacobi was 3rd, Calvin Vlaanderen and Mitch Evans were 4th and 5th, with Watson, Vial, Sterry, Muse and Pooches rounding out the top 10. Anyway, a few moments ago, Lisa Leyland was down on the grid. She spoke to Thomas Kjær-Olsen from Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, but before that, the Monster Energy Khmer Yamaha rider, Jargo Geerts.
Hello and welcome to the MX2 start line here in Argentina, and I want to grab a few words with Jargo Geerts. Jargo, let's quickly talk about last year. It was your rookie season. I think you placed 8th overall despite missing 3 rounds. So you must be feeling pretty confident coming into this new season after having one under your belt already.
Yeah, last year I had a really good rookie season. Finished 8th overall, and also had 1 podium in Latvia, so I was really happy with how the season went. And now this season I want to do better, and yeah, we will see.
But of course the results speak for themselves as well. We look at that first race there. I mean, quite a solid start. I know you were running in 6th at one point, and it didn't really go your way towards the end, and you finished in 11th. But you must be feeling pretty comfortable out there.
Yeah, the first seat I had a really good start, but after a couple laps I had a problem with my goggle, and I hadn't good vision. But yeah, then I also had a crash at the end and ended up 11. But yeah, I'm trying to do better in the second heat, and we'll see.
Okay, have a great race. Thank you. Okay, I'd like to speak to Rockstar Energy Husqvarna MX2 rider Thomas Kjær-Olsen. Thomas, fantastic qualifying race for you, and also if we look at that first race that you had, you got your head down, you were picking off riders confidently. A solid performance for you, so you must be feeling quite comfortable out there.
Yeah, I was feeling really comfortable on my bike, and I was riding really well, and I was just kind of flowing out there, so that was nice. But I made a mistake in the start and was quite far down, so that was not the best. Yeah. But I want to just focus on getting a good start here in the second moto, and hopefully there will be some good battling. For sure, I feel good, so I'm ready for this second moto.
You had a solid winter behind you. Last year, you've been in the MX2 class for 3 years now. One of your main rivals last year, Paul Jonas, he's moved up. So what's the realistic goal for this year? I'm guessing that title is well and truly something that you're aiming for.
Yeah, for sure, it is something I'm aiming for. This is my third year this year, so yeah, I got some experience now, and I'm feeling quite good. So for sure, I want to go for the title, and I'm already showing now that I have good speed, and my winter went well. So for sure, I think we can be up there fighting.
Have a great race. Thank you, TKO there. Good luck to all the guys. It's time for MX2 Race 2.
I think Lisa was missed out of the memo there to bring her own stepladder when interviewing Thomas Kjærulf. Anyway, fans out there alongside the web section, under the trees, getting ready. Yeah, it's gone a little bit chilly out here for the start of the second race. Wind's starting to pick up as well, but you see the MX2 riders making their way to the line from their positions. Looks like that might be Watson over on the far side, Prado alongside him. Here's how the riders go to the line based on how they finished in the qualifying race yesterday, which was won by Thomas Olsen, Prado second, Jacoby third, Watson, Belander, Mitch Evans, Adam Sterry, Alvin Osland. See the rest of the names there on screen. Conrad Muse, Jago Hietz, Tom Vial. He was in second actually before he fell in the qualifying race on Saturday. Spoke to Dylan Walsh in the break as well. He was there 23rd in the qualifying race. But in the first race today, Dylan Walsh came home in 13th position for Revo Husqvarna UK. There's your race 1 winner and defending world champion, Jorge Prado. And Dylan Walsh said that just made a couple of mistakes, and then he also made a mapping error as well. Obviously on the left side of the handlebar they've got their own modes, and he just selected the wrong one early on, and that was it. So the team down there have just said if they could, they will disconnect it, but I think they put it in one mode now, so he can't mess around with it. But the Kiwi hoping to get himself in the top 10 in race 2 if he can get a good start. Short legs there for the 29 of Henry Jacoby, using a couple of starting blocks just to keep him all nice and even. Not seen that since he was riding 85s. Bless him. Making his mark, though, third in race 1, the FNH Racing Kawasaki rider. Calvin Belander, and also a much better start to the season than he had last year, where he was 18th in race 1 after a collision with Prado, where Prado came 16th in that first race last year, of course. And Ben Watson, spoke to him briefly in the break. Didn't make a great start. Said the track was so flat after they prepped the work, did the track work last night. Didn't really rough up, and he said not really his style just to hang it out like that. But he'll be looking forward to this one. He reckons it'll be a little bit more rougher and more to his liking, but he does need to get out of the start, self-admission. Anyway, a couple more riders making their way to the gate. There you see over on the left-hand side, the right as they look down the start straight, about 80-90 metres into turn 1, and it comes back on itself. Not quite 180 degrees, but they do rip that start straight. It's heavy, it's loamy, but the ground underneath, do not be deceived, it's actually quite edgy and choppy, especially this late in the afternoon. The 15-second, the Fly Racing 15-second board goes up. Mr. Ingo Parch, our FIM race director, the man in charge down there, as always. Quick glimpse there of Conrad Muse, the 426, who finished 9th in race 1 for Hitachi KTM UK, fueled by Milwaukee. That board turns to 5. The revs are up, the crowd are on their feet, and we go. And it was a quick drop as well. And over on the far side, it's the 2 KTMs again. And again, I think this time it was actually the 61. Of Jorge Prado. Was it the 28? No, it's 61. So Prado with the second foxhole shot of the day, and his teammate goes from 2nd to 5th in the space of a corner. There's Mitch Evans on the Honda 114 Motorsport machine. Number 43 is alongside Prado as they hit the series of jumps out of the first couple of corners. So Evans there in 2nd position as he jumps to the inside of the winner from race 1, who gets a fantastic drive. They've obviously fixed that corner up and shallowed out all of those waves, but look how much water they put down through there. Just it's not going to do the riders any favours in terms of visibility at the end of that straight, but the water just seems to sap its way through the ground like a water filter system. And down in the background, But it's Prado who leads. Evans second. Watson, the better start for him in third. Olsen fourth. Valandren alongside Vial as he looks to battle for fifth place in the next left-hander at the end of the straight there. But he was going to be on the outside of the young Frenchman. David Puch is also getting a good start. Mikael Harpen around 8th place. Osland 9, Chervelin 10. Muse about 11th. Kietz 12. Sterry 13th, but he's also making good progress because there he is in the background there on the Kawasaki. Gustavo Passau, Matthijs Boerme as Watson got his hands full there with a little bit of TKO, or a lot of TKO. He's massive, isn't he? About 17 foot tall, fell asleep in the greenhouse when he was born. Anyway, round the outside in the final couple of corners. Is it going to be Watson or Olsen who emerges? Well, it's going to be a drag race between the Husky and the KTM down past pit lane. And it's the Yamaha, the Monster Energy Khmer Yamaha of Watson. Different conditions completely, a lot wetter on track. There you can see, look, just the remnants, the excess water just laying there. Normally it does soak its way through pretty quickly though. Give it a couple of laps and it'll be back down to all shale, but there's Vial coming under pressure here from David Puches on the Diga Procross. Husqvarna riding number 46, going past our camera now. Looking a little bit dark and moody outside as well. Watson goes to the outside, but TKO hanging off the back of that Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, looking for a way through at the end of the wave section. No way through for the Big Dane though. There he is, number 19. Evans just ahead of these two in that second position. Prado has disappeared. Well, say disappeared. He's about a couple seconds. There he is on the face of the jump now. So Evans in second from Australia, then Watson third. The Brit fourth, the Dane. Thomas Olsen here in yellow and black. Fifth, the Dutchman. Valandren sixth, the Frenchman. Vial seventh, another Dutchman, Puches. And another Dane, Mikael Hartmann. Much better start for the Ice One racing Husqvarna rider. So he is now in 8th place. 9th, Sterry, and 10th is Alvin Osland, having just found his way past the Revo Husqvarna rider, Adam Sterry. Right, get these couple of laps out of the way, get settled, and then go on and do the business. That's what these guys will be thinking. Trickier, more tricky conditions at the start of the race here. Fastest lap of the race then goes to our race leader, number 61, Jorge Prado, but who was that making moves at the end of the start straight there? So Watson then having a problem. Goes off the track here, does he? Yeah. Jumps back on. Yeah, down to 5th place. So Valandren capitalises on that. But Prado, Evans, Olsen, Valandren, Watson down to 5th. Prado just looks up towards a turn. Tell you what, it's impressive from Mitch Evans. Not being dropped by the defending champ, Jorge Prado. Having a very, very good debut in MX2. If they were to put the flag out now, by the way, and obviously there's still 25 minutes, Prado would win on 50 points, 2 wins, of course, 25 for a win, 22 for second, 20 for third, and 18, 16, 15, right the way down to 20th, where you pick up 1 World Championship point. Prado would win over Olsen at the moment, and Evans would be third if it was to stay like this on 38. So replicating what Hunter Lawrence did on his debut for that same Honda 114 Motorsports team a year ago. But we'll have to wait and see how this race pans out though. 146.5 and a 46.2 for Evans, fastest lap of the race, and a 46 dead for Thomas Olsen. So 3 fastest laps in quick succession by the top 3 riders in the race. Prado, Evans and Olsen here in 3rd place. There's Valandren and then Watson. Tom Vial looks like he's regrouped. And then just behind you've got David Puches just there, the 46, and then Adam Sterry, 8-11, the second, or the lead F&H Kawasaki actually, because Jacoby now up to 11th, having found his way past Albert Osland that time around. So Prado leads. Mitch Evans in second. Olsen third. Calvin Bolana is fourth. Fifth, Ben Watson. Sixth, Tom Vial. Seven, David Puches. Coming into view any moment now. Eighth is Adam Sterry, just behind on that green Kawasaki. Ninth, Jago Geertz on the Yamaha. 10th is Mikkel Hart on the Husky. Jacoby just behind them in 11th. Osland 12th. Chervelin had a shocker of a ride in race 1. He's in 13th, looking to try and make inroads. And Jacoby just finding his way past Hart here. Look, just in the bottom of our camera now. Maxime Renault in 16th. Bas Varsen 17th. Walsh, Conrad Muse, Brent Van Donnick, your top 20. Sterry has found his way past David Puches as well. These two train together on a regular basis, despite being on opposing teams. Have the same coach and trainer in the form of Mark de Ruwe. There is the 46, David Puches. Is he going to cut back to the inside, or is it? No, he's going to rail the outside. But we saw, and he does exactly what Watson did a couple of laps ago, that saw him go from 4th to 5th. And he loses a position, or does he? No, not quite. He was quick to get back on track and not get caught out by Mikkel Hara. Yeah, he did lose a position, actually, because Jacoby's gone through. And so too, Jago Geertz. So Vial 6, Sterry 7, Geertz 8, Puches 9, or 10 now because Jacoby just ahead of him. But Verlanderen, impressive ride from the Dutchman here for Team HRC. Got Olsen just ahead of him. Olsen setting another fastest lap of the race, 45.8. He's got Evans just ahead of him and Prado just around the corner as well, about 2 seconds further up track. But fantastic performances from Mitch Evans. Oh, back end just lightens up though at the back end. Prado in the next left-hander just ahead of these guys. Where's Watson? Just coming into view now. No, he's lost that all-important toe by about 4 seconds, and if he's not careful, well, say not careful, Tom Vial is about 1.5 seconds behind him. Normally, I wouldn't expect Tom Vial at this stage to be a threat to someone like Ben Watson. Rookie season and all that, but stranger things have happened. Right, Evans under attack from Olsen as Prado hits the line to complete his 4th lap. Another fastest lap for the Spaniard, 45.3, and Olsen looking keen now to find his way past the 43 of Mitch Evans. These two just, oh, it's a heavy landing for Olsen. About 4 seconds down on Prado, the race leader. Jago Geertz sandwiched between the two F&H Kawasaki's, just going out of sight as the front end just tucks on the 46 of David Puches there as he tries to fend off the 11 of Mikkel Hara. Just behind them, Ben Watson. So Watson dropping down to 11th now. So going from bad to worse for the Monster Energy Khmer Yamaha rider Ben Watson. Over on the far side, it looks like he's about to get caught and passed here by Chervelin. So Chervelin thought, oh, Yamaha SM action, MC Migliori. Thought he was about to get bounced off the side of the track there as he came out of that long sweeping ride, which incidentally is where Brian Moreau crashed yesterday in time practice, trying to put in a lap towards the end of the session. Has a slight crack in his wrist. Hopefully he'll be okay for Matterley, but he's not going to take any risks, he said. Doesn't want to make the situation worse. And Ika Laranaga not starting the second race here. He went out about 5 laps from the end of the race in race 1. Ika Laranaga. And hopefully he's not too bad, but he did take a trip to the medical centre. Right, Darian Sanai is out as well, so he's down as shown in 13th position. Though he's been feeling a little bit under the weather as well, so it was a pretty impressive performance for him in race 1 to get to 12th. But I think he's gone down, hasn't he? And this is Olsen and Evans keeping it clean. But Olsen dug in, kept that line around the outside. He now moves into 2nd position. So 19 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Jorge Prado continues to lead. Olsen second, Evans third. The guy there, just at the top of the track, is Calvin Verlanderen. He's in 4th place. Tom Vial just behind him, only about a second or so. So impressive second race for Tom Vial. Just like his first race, on course for 6th overall if it were to stay like this. Evans and Verlanderen tied on points. So that battle for 3rd might prove to be interesting in the final stages of this race, because 3rd and 4th in the race, Evans and Verlanderen. Here is Evans and Verlanderen coming towards us now. That gap getting a little bit bigger, so advantage to the Aussie at the moment. He's got the whole of that straightaway going down the opposite direction here on the left, ahead of the Dutchman. But Adam Sterry closing in fast on Tom Vial. Lap times reflected as well, half a second, just more than half a second. But once you get a sniff of the opposition, sometimes that's just enough, isn't it? Just to add that little extra impetus. Prado looking very, very good at the moment at the head of the field. 4.3 clear at the end of lap 5. He's about to hit the line for lap 6. And let's see how that pans out. In fact, the gap now at 1:45.9, a 46.4, yeah, it goes out to almost 5 seconds. So once again, Prado in control, just as he was for much of last year. Evans third. He's got 6 seconds over Verlanderen. Vial 5, Sterry 6, Geerts 7, Jacoby 8. Ben Watson now to 9 at the expense of David Puchis, who now goes to 10. Harap 11, Chervelin 12, Oslan 13, Gustavo 14, Matthijs Boirame 15, Maxime Renault 16, Conrad Muse 17, Dylan Walsh 18, 19 Varsinen 20, Brent van Donnik. There's your overall at the moment as it stands right now. 36 points for Evans, but also tied there at 4th is, as he comes into land there, a little bit sketchy, Captain Verlanderen. He will also be on 36, so this would be fantastic, wouldn't it, for Livia Lancelot and Honda 114 Motorsports. And of course, Mitch Evans himself making his debut appearance in MX2. There is Verlanderen. I'll tell you what, is that gap coming down ever so slightly? Need to keep an eye on that this time around, because Verlanderen may have just had a slightly better race. Elbows up for Tom Vial as he comes into land over that huge tabletop in the middle of the circuit. David Puchis and Mikkel Harp changing places, so Puchis down to 11th, Harp briefly up into 10th now with 16 minutes to go. Harp race 1 just picked up 1 World Championship point, an up and down ride for him. Fell on lap 2 down to 28, so he had to work hard just to get back into the points there. But the defending champion well and truly in his stride. Up on the pegs, dancing around nice, picks up the front, lets the back kick into the ground and just give him that extra little bit of spring as he floats over that first of 2 jumps through the trees. Just up on the pegs, dancing around, look, letting the suspension do all the work. Slightly different combination through the dragon back, wheelie, wheelie, jump, double. Dispatches of a back marker there as he comes into land. It's going to be a popular, well, it was a popular race win for him in race 1. Looks like he's having fun, enjoying himself here, more so than the qualifying race yesterday. All right, there's Olsen. No answer for the Spaniard at the moment. Just losing a little bit here and there, all adding up. 4.6 seconds at the end of lap 7. We're coming towards the end of lap 8 here.
It looks like Jorge Prado's on track to get his first overall of 2019. Perfect for his 2019 campaign.
Yeah, for sure. Jorge yesterday said tomorrow I go for the win, and I was sure I would have gone for the win because I know him by now quite well, and I know that when he wants something, for sure he does his best to achieve it, and is with his talent that comes quite easy.
Well, best of luck for the rest of the race. Thank you.
Right, looking down the leaderboard here, looks like Ben Watson may have, no, actually, okay, just an error. So Watson's still there in 9th place. We'll check that though as he comes through this time around, but it's Prado, Olsen, Evans, Valandren and Vial, they top 5. Yeah, Watson is still there as he comes past our commentary position now. So Sterian 6, Jacoby 7, Geertz 8, Watson will now be 9th. And then David Puch is 10. Mikkel Harp still there in 11th place. But here's Thomas Olsen. That gap now more than 5 seconds between Prado and the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna rider here, Thomas Olsen, number 19. Using that long range just to get through those waves. Kills a berm at the end of the straight. We're just about 1,000 meters above sea level here, so a little bit of altitude. Spoke to Jackie Martin this morning, asked if there was a little bit of performance sort of hampered there, and he said not really, not too much, or certainly the riders weren't complaining about it, so obviously got the bikes running okay. So 12, just over 12 minutes to go. MX2 race 1 here. Chervelin is up past Harp now, and Harp has also been passed back by David Puches a little bit further down. So just that battle 10, 11, 12. Puches, Harp, Chervelin. Looks like it's going to go down to the wire. There's Olsen. Evans still there just behind, but is he being caught by Valandren? I think he might be, you know. 1:48.3 for Evans and Valandren a 47.0. That gap now down to 4 seconds between Evans and this guy here. Valandren, the back end comes around on him. Well recovered though, Cal. Square edge bumps there as they come out of that turn, and then there you go, wheelie and just hook over that little crest. Some gnarly holes on the downside though of that next one. Vial and Sterry. Sterry will get his big elbows out with the big Welshman. Doubles his way past the fading Frenchman on the Red Bull KTM. There's Jacoby just there in the background, and also so the two F&H riders now, Sterry and Jacoby, looking to find a way past Vial. Long look over the shoulder from Sterry just to know where his wingman is. There he is, the other side of the Red Bull KTM rider, number 28, Vial. Decent performance for his first. Ooh, Sterry off track. Can't get back on. So Sterry, momentary lapse in concentration then. Maybe just adds a little bit too much of his Kawasaki through that left-hander. Watch this here, just went in too deep and just got stood up. Right, over the line. Sterry, Vial, and Jacoby looking to charge down the inside, and he does. He takes the Frenchman wide. Nervous look over the shoulder from the 28 Vial. And we know how hard a rider Jacoby is. He will not take any prisoners, and he certainly takes none of the proverbial anyway, put it that way. Going after his teammate, Sterry, the number 8 and 11. It's been a good weekend, actually, for these guys. Watch this. Oh, a little bit late. It's at the end of the straight. Got out-braked, wasn't it? Anyway, there is Tom Vial. I think if he came here and said, ideally I'd like a couple of top 10 finishes, I'll be happy with that. Then that's good. And obviously, 7th overall is what he's looking at the moment. 7th in race 1, is currently 7th in race 2. Watch this. Jacoby over on the right-hand side. I'll tell you what, the back end got a little bit keen, didn't it? On the KTM. That was the pass for 6th. Jacoby on Vial. Jacoby, look, coming in the land from the moon as he goes after his teammate, Sterry. It's been interesting. Obviously, they like to keep it clean, these guys, but teammates and all the rest of it, that ends as soon as you put the helmet and goggles on and line up behind the gate. Rule number 1, beat your teammate. Sterry doing a great job of doing that at the moment, but Jacoby, he won't let it lie until the checkered flag in about 8 minutes plus 2 laps. Just behind Vial is Jago Geerts, and then 3 seconds behind him is Ben Watson. David Puch is rounding out the top 10 at the moment. Conrad Muse up to 15th now. He's found his way past the Honda Red Motor Asamoto rider of Mate Sport-Armé, last year's EMX2 50 European champion. So Conrad Muse on the Hitachi KTM UK, fueled by Milwaukee. Just a couple of places ahead of his teammate Bas Varsen. A couple of Huskies here. So Harop and Osland. Alvin Osland on the Revo Husky. Where's Walsh? Walsh in 19th place. There he is in the back corner, actually. So a few seconds behind his teammate here, the 161, Alvin Osland. There's Gustavo Pessoa at 56, the bike at DRT. Kawasaki under attack from Conrad Muse, 426 on that Hitachi KTM. Gets squeezed by the Brazilian at the top of the hill. That's just a short, sharp climb up and down, actually. Very easy to make a mistake there on the exit. Normally causes a bit of a bottleneck on the opening lap, but so far I don't think we've seen too many issues through there, although Chervelin did go down there, I think, in the race earlier, qualifying, in the first race. Right, Muse going after Gustavo Pessoa. Just here, and he goes to the inside, but can't make the move. Might do it here, though, at the end of the straight. And right in front of our commentary position, he does go through. For those keen to know what happened there, so Conrad Muse did go through into 14th on Pessoa. Prado, in the meanwhile, is 6 seconds clear of Thomas Olsen at the head of the field. So the Red Bull KTM leading the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. Evans still maintaining a 4-second advantage over Calvin Villaren. So the Australian on the Honda 114 Motorsports machine still there in 3rd, still hanging on to 3rd overall in the final classification as well, which would be won by Prado, and Olsen would come home 2nd if things were to stay as they are. 2 F&H Kawasaki's though going at it here. The other side of the jump, Adam Sterry, 5th, Jacoby in 6th place. 2 corners from home. There is Jorge Prado, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. Just looking super smooth and efficient, isn't he? But Derek Serry is his main man, issuing instructions as he sees fit. But it is a very tricky racetrack here. Hard and slick underneath, but then you've got that loose dirt to the outside, and then all of a sudden you just think, yeah, nice and loamy and a lot of traction, and all of a sudden the back end can just light up, catch an edge, throw you down the straight, or give you a bit of a wake-up call. Inch perfect through the Dragon's back for Prado. And that gap now, 7.4 seconds between him and Olsen here. Olsen last year finished 2nd overall to Jonas. So from that side, with a 3rd and a 2nd, he's going to be looking at going slightly better with 2-2. Previous winners here, of course, have included Dylan Ferrandis, who was the first ever winner here when he was Bud racing Monster Energy Kawasaki rider back in 2015. Took a win and a second. It's the weekend, of course, that Paul Jonas and Jeffrey Hurlings came together in the first race at the end of the wave section over the jump on the opening lap. Saw Hurlings DNF, but he did then go and win the second race. Jonas. Right, here's Prado. And Adam Sterry has gone down. Oh, tell you what, getting into a bit of an argument with his bike there. So Sterry then out of 5th. Kept it running though. There's Prado around the outside of turn 1. Making everything look so easy. The last 3 years have been won by Red Bull KTM riders here, actually. 2016 was Jeffrey Hurlings. The last 2 years, Paul Jonas. His teammates then went 1-1 as well. So Prado looking to emulate Jeff Jonas as well from their performances over the last 3 years here. Comes into land at the end of the wave section. This part of the racetrack starting to chop up. There's Valandrum. He's starting to close in. He's got about 3 seconds to make up to Mitch Evans now. So the final podium position, I think our cameraman's been drinking, is still up for grabs. Valandrum still looking to chip away, and I tell you what, the dynamic there between these two is relative privateer Honda status, Mitch Evans, and full factory HRC rider Calvin Valandrum, and Valandrum at this stage being edged out by the satellite team, shall we say. Not sure exactly what equipment they've got, but certainly no HRC parts in these Honda 114 machines here from Mitch Evans, just ahead of Calvin Valandrum, which makes this performance even more special, just like Hunter Lawrence last year, of course. Right, Olsen gripping that bike for all it's worth with those big, long, lanky legs of his. Back end over the seat, head over the bar pad, elbows out. Here he goes. Impressive in qualifying yesterday, good ride through the field in race 1 today. It's the gap between him and Evans here in 3rd place for Honda 114, about 5 seconds actually. So Evans over on the far corner there, look, just coming into land here, just behind Olsen. Have a look at the splits, 25-9, 25-5 between Prado and Olsen, 25-8, so Evans about a tenth quicker than Prado on the first sector. Sector 2, 24-4, 24-4. For Prado and Olsen, Evans 24-4, so very similar. Comes down to hundredths of a second over on the second sector. No changes though inside the top 20, it would appear at the moment, with 3 to go, because we've got 13 seconds on the clock. Prado making his way here. Yeah, he's not going to be over the line in next second. So getting ready to take the 2 lap board then. Jorge Prado, who continues to lead from Thomas Olsen. Mitch Evans 3rd and on course for 3rd overall. And as it stands right now, the top 5 places, Prado, Olsen, Evans, Valandrum and Jacoby. That's how it will finish in the overall classification. 3 riders, in actual fact, on 36 points. Evans 3rd, Valandrum 4th and Jacoby 5th. All on 36 points apiece. So Jacoby obviously being helped there by the fact that his teammate Sterry fell a couple of laps ago whilst in front of him, who's now dropped to 9th. Jacoby not over the line yet. And Hertz and Watson are closing in on him as well, actually, on Jacoby. So 5, 6 and 7 are going to be over the line in the blink of an eye as they go and embark on their penultimate lap. Right, here's Prado. No problems for him with a lap and a bit to go. Olsen, 7 seconds behind him. Evans, 5 seconds further back. But then Verlanderen, and then all within about 3 or 4 seconds of each other, we've got Henry Jacobi here, Jago Kiert, and Ben Watson. If we go wide enough, in fact, there we go. So Jago Kiert's getting ready to make a pass on the German, if he can. Whoa. See how those back ends swap from side to side towards the end of the straight there, that wave section, because you're on the gas, you're trying to control it, you're on the turn as well. There's a lot going on there. Then you've got the edges, the crusty ground. Has Jacobi spent the energy reserves here? And is he going to get caught napping by Jago Kiert in the final stages? Just over a lap to go between those two. Here's Prado, long look over his shoulder. Wants to know what about 7 or 8 seconds looks like. No such problems for the Red Bull KTM rider. Olsen over the line. 5 seconds that gap, but Prado maybe just backing off things a little bit. Evans third. Here's Verlanderen, and he's already over the line. Waiting for Cal to pass by now. He's lost a bunch of time, actually. 3 seconds more, so that gap now about 9 seconds. So as it stands right now, Evans stays on 2 wheels. He's going to take 3rd overall in the first attempt of an MX2 Grand Prix here this weekend. Verlanderen up on the pegs. Couldn't have asked for any more, though. 2 solid rides. Going to leave him 14 points off the lead, going into Matchley Basin in about 3 weeks' time. Round 2, of course. But Jacobi, Kiert and Watson, they're still, well, especially Jacobi and Kiert, absolutely locked together. Here's Jorge Prado. Right from the very first lap. Picking up the foxhole shot. He led all 19 laps in race 1. And I'll tell you what, the second race is a bit slower. 18 laps this is going to be, so a lap shorter. Well, a quicker race actually, yeah, so 19, 18 laps. So out of the final corner, Jorge Prado, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, hits the line, goes 1-1 here. He wins here in South America. And you can see what it means to the defending champions down there, and the fans love that as well. So Jorge Prado goes 1-1 here. He takes the first MX2 victory of the year. And the first to congratulate David and Claudio De Carli from that side of the Red Bull KTM garage. And Thomas Olsen will go 2nd overall, 3rd overall. Fantastic debut for Mitchell Evans. Honda 114 Motorsport. He comes home in 4th. Jacobi, Kiert and Watson, 5, 6 and 7. Vial will come through in 8th any moment now, I would think. And he will just fend off Adam Sterry and Davey Pooches, who rounds out the top 10. Of course, we'll grab an interview with our overall winner, Jorge Prado. Any moment now. Of course, Lisa will be waiting in the wings down there to grab a quick word with him. But the defending champion gets off to the best possible start here by winning in South America. Good to see Max Anstey trackside there. He suffered a technical issue, I believe, in the first race from MXGP early on. Right, here's Lisa.
Jorge Prado, congratulations. 2 silky smooth races to go 1-1 and get your first overall of the 2019 season. Tell us about your day.
Yeah, it was a great day. You know, first warm-up, first race and second race. It was just a perfect weekend. Felt very good. Track was quite tough because everybody was going very fast. So it was tough to make difference, but you know, we fought very good, and we are very happy to start the season with a win.
Great job, thank you.
Jorge Prado comes to South America, this time around Patagonia, Argentina for round 1. And takes the overall victory in fine style. 3 wins on the bounce in terms of the last 2 Grand Prix last year at Assen and Imola, Italy, where he clinched that MX2 title. But it's his first win of 2019, and he does it in spectacular style as well. 1-1, 50 points on the board. Jorge Prado leads MX2. Podium getting readied, but, well, there's a sight. 3 different flags on the podium. A Spaniard, a Dane, and an Australian. That's how the race finished. Jorge Prado wins it. Second in the race was Thomas Olsen. Mitch Evans third. Fantastic ride for him. Valana in 4th. Jacoby 5th. Jago Geerts, Ben Watson, and Tom Vial. Good solid performance for the young Frenchman. Adam Sterry 9th. David Puches 10th. Kaylee Chervin 11th. Conrad Muse, Bas Varsen, Alvin Oslin, Matthijs Borromé, Gustavo Pessoa. And then it was Brent Van Donnick, Dylan Walsh, Maxime Renault, and Richard Sakina. Mikael Horup just outside of the points, 21st. The overall looks like this. Jorge Prado will stand tall and proud on the top step once again. Thomas Olsen and Mitch Evans. And look at that. 3-way tie for 3rd. Evans, Valana, and Jacoby. Watson will be disappointed with a 6th overall. Vial, he'll be over the moon with 7th. Then Jago Geerts, Adam Sterry, David Puches will be pleased to just finish in the top 10. Just outside in 11th was Conrad Muse, so he'll look to capitalise on that as we head to Matterley Basin, his home round, Great Britain, in about 3 weeks' time. Of course, championship standings exactly the same as the overall here this weekend. But MX2 is done and dusted. Manufacturer standings look like this. Of course, 50 points from the 2 wins from KTM, Husqvarna, Honda, Kawasaki, and Yamaha. Let's have a look at some Fox action, shall we? Fox hole shot this time around. To Jorge Prado. Ran his teammate just a little wide, but that start from Evans. So adding another black plate to the 26 that he picked up last year. Jorge Prado, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, taking his first black plate of the season. And he obviously tops the table. His teammate picked up the 1 in race 1. So once again, KTM's showing that they are on fine form as it comes to getting out of the gate. So it's all a little bit quiet out there, but it won't be for much longer because the podium for MX2 is about to get underway here. See the Australian flag there, prepped, ready for the rider who finished 3rd overall this weekend. Good, solid performance from him. 5th in race 1, 3rd in race 2, gives him 3rd overall, 36 points. The Australian for Honda 114 Motorsports, Mitch Evans. Congratulations, son. Quietly spoken Australian. Managed to get a few words out of him on the plane and at the airport on the way over here. You'd forgive him for feeling a little bit nervous before he made the trip over here, but now he's got this first one out of the way. Well, who knows what can happen. 2nd overall, the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna rider, Thomas Olsen. 2 second-place finishes for him, which is, well, still 2nd overall, just like last year, but he goes 2-2 as opposed to 2-3. The darling of the crowd here, though, Jorge Prado, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, will stand on the top step of the podium, and he does so with a 1-1. Perfect day here for the Spaniard. The sun starts to come out as well. And Claudio Di Carli, team owner, team manager for that Red Bull KTM Factory squad. Took him across under his wing. Last year, of course, he was rewarded with that World Championship. And here he is getting off to the perfect start here this weekend at round 1, 2019. Guillermo Hansel, city councillor of Villa Langostura, handing trophies and shopping bags to our 3rd place finisher, Mitch Evans. Mr. Tony Skillington going down the line of congratulating everybody as he hands a second place goodie bag and trophy to Thomas Olsen, of course the FIM CEO now, newly appointed CEO, Mr. Skillington. And the winner, Jorge Prado, takes his first piece of silverware home back to Belgium, where he now resides, of course, from Guillermo Caruso, the mayor of Villa Langostura. Thank you, sir, for having us in your wonderful part of the world again. And we are going to be here for another 2 years. It was announced in the press conference on Saturday. So the Grand Prix here is in safe hands, and we will all look forward to coming back in 2020. Adalberto Manasta, the Ministry of Tourism coordinator, on hand to deliver the manufacturer's trophy, the team trophy, I should say, to Claudio De Carli as they win this weekend. And good to see this guy on a podium as well, delivering the red plate. Antonio Alia Portela, the FIM CMS director, newly appointed as well. Great guy, nice person, and good to see him up there doing his bit on the podium. Just one thing to do now then, well two actually. Take the hats off, do the national anthems, and then spray a little bit of bubbly. As Jorge Prado will stand proud and listen to the Spanish national anthem. Jorge Prado, the overall winner here this weekend at the MXGP of Patagonia, Argentina. With a perfect score, 2 wins, 50 points in the bag as he goes in search of a successful defence of his MX2 title that he picked up last year. Joining him on the podium, Thomas Olsen and Mitch Evans. We'll talk to the top 3 in a moment after the best moments. Well, as we wait to speak to our top 3, just looking down at live images there, looks like Paul Jonas has just fallen on the exit of the... oh, no, that was Mikael Harup, actually. Highlights. Anyway, here's Lisa with Jorge.
Congratulations, 2 foxhole shots, 2 brilliant races. Just tell us, how important is it to get a win on the first round of the year?
I mean, yeah, it was great coming here and ending up on the top of the box for us, just to gain points and to start the season, let's say around the top 5, top 3 was good enough. But we came here and we did our best, got 1-1, so super happy about this weekend, and hopefully we can continue like this whole season.
Great job, thank you. Second overall today we have Thomas Kjær. Thomas Kjær, you've been riding smart races all weekend, perfectly timed races. Okay, you didn't get the overall, but you've got your first podium of the season. Perfect for the confidence and momentum for the rest of the year.
Yeah, it's a good start to go on the podium here and get that second place. But yeah, I wanted to be first for sure, but it's only the first round, and I know how long the season can be, and I'm pretty happy to leave here with second. yeah, I got some things to work on for sure, and we're just gonna go home and keep training. And I just wanna say a huge thanks to my trainer Rasmus, my whole family, and the whole team, Jordan, everybody from Husqvarna, Rockstar Energy Factory Racing. Thank you, guys.
Great job, thank you. Third overall today we have Mitchell Evans. Mitchell, your debut in the MX2 class and you're already on the podium. Tell us how you're feeling at this stage, and a fantastic job holding on to that third position.
Yeah, it's an unreal feeling. My first ever GP. I'm speechless really. The team and I put in a lot of work in the off season, and it was my first winter pre-season, and there were some tough days, but we got through it, and yeah, we're here, and I couldn't be any happier. I'm pretty stoked with this third overall. I want to big thanks to my team and everyone for believing in me and giving me this opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Fantastic job, congratulations.
Still quietly spoken. Australian Mitch Evans, third overall this weekend. Solid performance for the Honda 114 Motorsports rider. He'll be looking forward to getting a little bit of English language under his belt in the next couple of weeks, because the next round is going to be matchly based in the MXGP round of Great Britain. Well, he's got the first one out of the way. So what can he do in round two? Well, Thomas Olsen, second overall. We went one race result better than he did last year. Second overall. He's still very much in the driving seat here, isn't he? As he gives chase to the overall round winner this weekend, Jorge Prado, the defending champion, standing on the top step of the podium for the first time in South America. Popular win, popular victory, but more importantly, it's a successful opening round as he goes in defense of that title he won last year. Jorge Prado, your winner here in Argentina.